Hi, I'm Susana, and this is the Susana Gibb Show. On the podcast with me today is Monica Paul. She's the executive director of the Dallas Sports Commission, and I am beyond excited about having her on the show. I hope you like her. We're going to talk about FIFA, being on the world stage, talking to some really important people from all over the world, including people in our neck of the world. And again, super excited for this podcast today. Thank you for being here with us. Our sponsor is Gibb Insurance Services. We are an independent agency here in Dallas. And perhaps you're thinking about when FIFA comes in next year, maybe I'll Airbnb my house, right? There's going to be 100,000 people a day coming into the Metroplex. And maybe you're thinking you might earn a couple extra bucks. There's something you should know. Your home insurance policy is not set up for that. There are gaps in coverages. And if somebody has a claim while you have renters in your house and you're not there, your insurance company might decide they don't want to pay the claim. So definitely check with your insurance agent or us if you want to get some bids on maybe what that would be like. Again, thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoy Monica Paul. Welcome back to the Susana Gibb Show, where we're going to delve into the mindset, confidence, and connections that fuel success. Today, I'm doing a one-to-one with a woman I heard speak almost 11 years ago. It may be 12, it may be 13. We're going to go with 11. And I have thought about it. I have quoted you ever since. She has helped put Dallas on the global map, not just as a sports city, but as a stage for some of the biggest moments in sports. Monica Paul, executive director of the Dallas Sports Commission. You're such a baddie, first off, right? She's behind everything that has generated over, I'm going to read it, $4 billion in economic impact, and brought everything from the Final Four to the upcoming 2026 FIFA World Cup to North Texas. She's worked with everyone from the Jones family of the Dallas Cowboys to FIFA executives navigating high-stakes bids, global partnerships, and moments of massive pressure, all while leading with grit, grace, and collaboration. And today we're going to talk about how you build relationships that open doors, the mindset it takes to lead through wins and losses, and what it means to represent an entire city on the world stage. No pressure, right?
None whatsoever.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. I am so honored that you took this interview. I sent the email, and then I read through the rest of the article in the Dallas Morning News about how, I think it was Jim Hunt was like, she's really hard to get on the phone. And I was like, she's never going to answer me.
Email's the best, actually, for me. I have anxiety if I have emails in my inbox. So emails are good for me. So get a quicker response.
So the first time I heard you speak, you made my childhood heart so happy. You spoke of a competition that brings in huge dollars to the city, and it probably surprises people every time you say it.
National Cheerleaders Association.
Yeah.
All-Star Nationals, yes. Usually, historically, on an annual basis, the largest event that takes place here in Dallas. And a lot of people don't think, cheerleading, it's huge. I mean, sometimes over $50-60 million in economic impact, 60,000 people down at the Kay Bailey Hutchison Convention Center. And usually when I talk to restaurants and businesses, they're like, oh, yes, cheer weekend. We understand. But we have two of them, All-Star and then High School Nationals in end of January. So
when I was a cheerleader, they still sometimes referred to it as an activity versus a sport. And so it makes me so happy.
Well, I have to say, I grew up playing sports all my life. I was not a cheerleader growing up. And when I took this job, they're like, oh, our largest sport is cheerleading. And I was like, come on now. Until you see it. And the athletes that are participating there, the families that come along with it, the vendors, the exhibitors, the sponsors, and the growth of cheerleading here over the last 10 to 15 years. It's quite amazing. So we're very proud to partner with NCAA every year.
The other thing, which I didn't have this, but I'm just going to admit it, that when I first saw you speak, I was really impressed. And I was kind of surprised because you're a woman heading a big sports commission. And I was like, well, Susana, you have your own bias, but I thought it was so cool.
Well, when I started and got this position in December, will be 17 years. There were 4 women leading sports commissions throughout the country, large mid-level sports commissions or mid-city sports commissions throughout the country. So it was quite an honor, and especially a city like Dallas. Um, I mean, there's not a better sports city. Sports Business Journal has already named us #1 sports business city in the country. So I take it very seriously, but we've seen a lot of growth in women being able to get into the sports tourism business and then lead as well.
Do you like going out and speaking? Like doing speeches like that?
When I started, no.
Oh.
I wasn't fond of really going out and doing presentations or even speaking to the media and that sort of thing. But over the years, I've had a lot of coaching. I've got a great PR agency behind me, and I actually think that teaching at SMU has helped as well. I'm taking a little break from that, but I taught contemporary issues in sports management at SMU for I think maybe 4 years or so, and getting up and like off the cuff sometime having to answer the questions that the students come back with. I think it's very easy when I go out to talk about why Dallas or why the North Texas region because there are so many attributes of why. And I could spend 20 minutes talking about that. So it rolls off the tongue very easily. But I'm very passionate about what I do too, and I think that comes through. And sometimes when I have to go out and speak, and a lot of times it could be bid presentations or it's just updating the community on what's taking place.
So in the coaching that you did, was it speech? Was it how to stand up? What is
It was, yeah, I think it was a little bit of both. Uh, how to answer the question, how to get across your points that you want to share, even though maybe sometimes the question isn't necessarily aimed towards that. So, how to answer the question, but then also with confidence, how to get across your points and the mission.
Yeah. So you said you played sports. I know you played volleyball. Did you play other sports?
I did in high school. I played basketball, um, track and field, golf. I played softball. I say recreationally because we didn't have a team. And then I played volleyball in college my freshman year. So,
Actually, I played fast pitch softball, and obviously I told you I was a cheerleader and gymnast, and I feel like there's so many lessons you learn playing sports.
mhm.
Do you bring any of those lessons when you're prepping for a speech? Like, do you have your walk-up music and your
I have some walk up music every now and then. I tend to go to Katy Perry. Here We Roar is one of them. But yeah, I think whenever or at least the work that we're doing at the Sports Commission, it has to be very team focused. So while I'm the one who gets to go speak, I've got a team behind me that is amazing from a sales standpoint, a marketing standpoint, events, because we bring them in, but then we have to execute
Mhm.
those events and they have to be at the highest level and win-win for the rights holder as well as our community. So I think we approach it definitely from a team effort. Sometimes we have to get through the wins and losses, and I think you learn that when you're growing up competing in sports. So uh, while we're not necessarily playing the sport ourselves now, we're hosting many of them, and we've been very fortunate to have a lot of big wins too.
How many people are on your team?
We have 10 on the sports commission team.
That's a lot of that's a good sized team to manage, and I
Yeah,
say it's team, we're back to sports, but yes.
yeah. I mean, if you look across the country, we may be one of the smaller sports commissions for a major market in terms of the numbers, but we're also very unique in how large of a region we are. So there are other cities within the region that have focus on sports as well. So, and then we all collaborate together for major events.
I just recently learned about Dorothy's style of leadership. Have you heard of this?
I haven't.
I hadn't either. I thought it was so fun though, probably because I like the movie. But it's a leader who doesn't really know where she is or where she's going, recruits 3 other people to also don't really know what they're doing, and they all go together and figure it out, which I thought was kind of fun. How would you describe your style of leadership?
Um, I feel like probably servant style a little bit in that I feel like I have a responsibility not only to bring in the events, but to kind of serve the community in whatever capacity that needs to be. I would say there's probably a lot of things that I do or involved in that might not necessarily be on the job description, but I think we all, as we grow in our career, know that that happens. And I try to be there to coach and help my team members, my staff, um, coach them up, giving them the confidence, let them make their mistakes as well, um, just to be able to grow. Because I've seen it year over year, and a lot of my team members have just really proud of kind of where they started and where they are now.
Oh, that's so fun. Um, so I'm gonna switch gears a little bit. You're in the ear of some really big players now that FIFA's coming, and we'll get to FIFA. And but I have to get some dumb questions out of the way.
No problem.
Just bear with me for a
Gotcha.
second. Okay. Can you text Jerry Jones?
Mm-mm.
No.
I do not have Jerry Jones' phone number, cell phone number, any of that. But he has a great team there with the Cowboys in AT&T Stadium. So we work very hand in hand and collaboratively. They are fantastic partners of ours, not only in the events that we host, but what they help us do in the community.
Can you text Charlotte?
I do have Charlotte's number. Yes.
Okay. So I've been watching A Gambler and His Cowboys. Have you seen this
Mm-mm.
doc?
Oh, I have not read. No, I have not seen that one yet. It's on my wish list here.
So I've not been a Jerry fan, really, honestly, but I'm kind of loving him in this show. And I feel like I'm trying to imagine what it's like to meet him. I don't know if you remember the first time you met him, but it seems like he would be the type of person who would immediately put you at ease. And then you realize the businessman, just genius underneath. And you're like, just behind the smile, it's ready to go in a second.
Yes, he is very welcoming, does absolutely put you at ease, remembers you, engages with you, brings you into the conversation that, he may be having. He's attended many site visits for us, receptions. He was there at our match schedule announcement at AT&T Stadium. I would actually love to sit over in a corner and just hear how he handles business, on his own and that sort of thing. I think it'd be very intriguing, and I'd probably learn tons. So
So Charlotte Jones said some very lovely things to Dallas Morning News and D Magazine about you. What is she like?
she is amazing. The energy, just the vision and the business sense that she has, it portrays is amazing as well. She participated and with us on many bid presentations, one up to our first WWE WrestleMania where we actually presented, and then they actually awarded us the bid on the spot after the presentation, after a few grilling of questions, but we handled it and we won that. So that was amazing to experience with her. And then NCAA men's Final Four bids, or a few of them, and we were successful the last time. But really, the giving spirit, you can see that runs within their family, and always there to really step up and participate.
I bet you get invited to some cool parties.
I do attend a lot of events.
Yes, that's awesome. Okay. Last dumb question. You, Jerry Jones, Charlotte Jones, Mark Cuban, and Greg Bibb walk into a bar. Who is most likely to start a fight and who's going to walk the tab?
Oh, boy. I think Mark Cuban may start the fight. I don't see Jerry and Charlotte and Greg doing that. Walk the tab. Hell, it may be me.
I have been a fan of the Irish goodbye now that I've gotten older. I'm like, you know what? You guys just keep partying. I really need to go take a nap. Have you ever been starstruck walking into these meetings?
Probably early on, of just shock that I'm in a meeting at a table with some of these people. One, a lot of time when you're growing up or you hear about these types of opportunities or events coming and how you're working collaboratively with your partners, you're like, oh, it's got to be gruesome. It's not. A lot of times I mean, our entire Metroplex, I feel, from a sports standpoint, is very collaborative and wants to do the right thing. Yes, we have entrepreneurial spirit around here. We like big wins. There's still business to be had, but I feel like everybody approaches it in the right way. Where sometimes I hear from other cities that they may not have the relationships with some of their professional teams and owners and even cities and other key stakeholders. So I feel very blessed, and hopefully that can continue, on. I know there's lots of movement and stuff going on and what ifs in the sports world here right now, but just very blessed of how we've been able to grow.
Do you feel like, um, there was one time I was at this audition and I booked the part, and the directors from LA were like, "You beat out the LA actors." And I was like, "Well, okay, yeah." And they're like, "No, you don't understand. You beat them." And I was like, "Well, obviously, I'm here. I'm from Dallas. We can do it." And Dallas in general, I think everybody in Dallas is like, "Well, duh, we can do all these things." Do you feel like you have to overcome that when you're talking to people on, like, the world stage?
Absolutely. Yes.
Why?
I think
Do they realize how big we are and how much of a badass city we are?
I think we have some work to do on the global stage, as you say, just the global audience, our reputation. I think there's, sometimes internationally people still think that they're gonna fly in here and they're gonna see a lot of horses and cowboys and dirt and this sort of stuff. And we're so much more than that as a region. Yes, still love our cowboys and our culture, and I don't think we ever want to get rid of that. But when you see the opportunity to do international business here, the true um, the food, the culture, the just overall experience that Dallas has, the business opportunity, the costs of doing business here, the affordability still generally compared to some of those other cities. I think we encountered this a little bit in our World Cup efforts as well. While we know we've hosted major events, how do we still, in the minds of some, stack up against a New York, New Jersey, or an LA or Miami and something like that. So I think this World Cup has a great opportunity for us to improve that too.
I think you're doing a good job representing. I couldn't find any controversy about you.
I'm
It was
sure.
all good things.
Hey, there's still time. Don't worry. Yeah. There's some people who love me. I'm sure there's people who think I could do a better job, and I think that they're probably right. So
Um, humble is a word that they've said a lot, and I see it. But I just want to talk about some of your events that you've brought in, and I'm going to read some, shall we? The 2014 Men's Final Four, the 2023 Women's Final Four, the upcoming FIFA World Cup, the 2020 NHL Classic, WWE WrestleMania. Do you have a favorite, kind of like your favorite dog or your pet, your kids? Or you're not supposed to have one, but you do anyway? Like,
they're all very, very special for me. Probably our 2017 NCAA Women's Final Four is up there on
that one.
on the list. It's okay. It's 2017 and 2023, but 2017 was really the first major event that the Sports Commission did the bid, as well as served as a local organizing committee for an event. And it hit major broadcast numbers, hit records. It was like the start of the boom of women's basketball a little bit. It was amazing. It's also the year UConn, lost, and some pretty amazing things happened there on the court. So that was pretty special for us to follow it up with a 2023, where it really then exploded. Was something maybe unexpected a little bit, because we're like, how are we going to top 2017? And then 2023 came around and we were able to do it. And now we'll have an opportunity in 2031. Another one is probably the NHL Winter Classic in 2020 on January 1st at the Cotton Bowl. Because going into it, you're like, what are we doing? We are going to put down some ice in the Cotton Bowl on January 1st, where it's an outdoor stadium.
It's open. It's
Yeah,
hot.
and you have to pray that Mother Nature and the gods up there give us the weather that we need, because any variant in temperature can do some crazy things to the ice. It was absolutely amazing. 85,000 plus people. We opened the Midway, so they got a little state fair flair as well. A lot of pre-gaming was taking part from those hockey fans. The Stars, amazing support. And it was great to work with the NHL. And it was the last positive memory maybe or major event that we hosted in 2020 before the pandemic. So it had some special it has some special meanings for us.
What was the temperature that day? Because January in Dallas.
I don't remember, but all I remember, it was in the range of the perfect. Like the sun, the clouds, it's a science that goes into it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, when you're putting on an event, there's so much that you can control. And then there's these things over here that you have no control over. And then there's no planning that can go towards it. It's just, please, let's hope that this works out. So it was amazing.
You are obviously building relationships with a giant network of people to pull off a big event like for FIFA, when, building consensus in my 23-person networking group feels like a challenge. And you are doing it with heads of whole cities. You're Dallas and Frisco and Fort Worth. Is there a version of like Salesforce for commissioners where you reminds you if you're like, hey, you haven't talked to Addison in a while, you need to.
No, but I need to find it. Actually, it's kind of one of my challenges of ensuring that I have the touch points. I can get things on the calendar and on a regular basis. On the World Cup side, we've made it a big priority to be out and about within the community, sharing a lot of the plans and allowing people to join our working groups so that, they can provide input on what we're responsible for. We can't necessarily have a lot of influence on what FIFA may be doing here and in some of their planning, but at least on what we're doing out within the community. It's a lot of touch base, but I feel like the more that we're able to provide that information and bring people in and let them have a voice, the better collaboration we usually have holistically.
So we used to have two kiddos in soccer, but now only one, but we're kind of a soccer household. So we've been paying attention. But for anyone who's maybe been living under a rock or doesn't pay attention to soccer, will you talk about what Dallas is doing with FIFA and the impact that this will have on our city?
Absolutely. So we are approaching, about to host the largest event that this Metroplex will see. World Cup will start June 10th and ends July 19th. Our first match is June 14th and ends July 14th. We'll host 9 matches over in Arlington at the stadium. And we've got the International Broadcast Center that'll take place at the K. Bailey Hutchinson Kavitcha Center. So we've got over 3,500 media and staff that'll be working there 24/7 from end of May all the way through towards the end of July. Every match will be broadcast out of there. We've got a 39-day fan festival. So basically, big watch party, a lot of activations, fan zones, concerts, a lot of food, fireworks, drone shows, etc. That'll be out at Dos Equis Pavilion there at Fair Park. And then with a parking lot next door, we're looking to do other activations throughout the region. Because know that not everybody's going to get a ticket out to Fan Fest or out to the matches at the stadium. So how can we ensure that other areas feel like the World Cup and have something for residents to do, but visitors to go explore our region as well? We know that there's going to be, anticipating over 100,000 international visitors a day that are, well, I was to say international and national visitors a day that are coming in to go to the match or just be here, be in a World Cup city. A lot of fans will save up their whole life to attend a World Cup, and they may not have tickets. They may have no intent to get tickets, or they may love to come here, try to get tickets, but then the heartbeat is really the FIFA Fan Festival and exploring the rest of what that World Cup city has to offer. So our initial projections, we started this bid in 2017, and the initial projections from the United Bid Committee was about $400 million in economic impact. Since then, FIFA has done a study with Deloitte, and their numbers come out with all of those layers, the 9 matches, most out of any host city, plus International Broadcast Center, Fan Fest. We've got some base camp opportunities where teams can come here and stay and train prior to the World Cup, and then during the World Cup, and then fly off to their match and then come back. We're looking at between 1.5 to 2.1 billion dollars in economic impact. So, any major event that we've hosted before, nothing even has come close. So, some term this as we'll be hosting 9 Super Bowls. It's 39 straight days. So, while we've hosted Super Bowls, Final Fours, and everything, usually those happen over a weekend or with ancillary events be a week. This is 39 straight days. There's 5 rest days toward the end built in, but a lot of activation. And I've been to 2 World Cups before in planning for the bid process of Russia and Qatar. And um, there is an energy, a passion, a culture, an excitement. People from all over the world just celebrating soccer and their culture. And I cannot wait for that to come here to North Texas area.
Ah, that's so cool. What's on your to-do list for like this week, and like what your overall list? I know you said you don't have a sales force, but I have to think there's like a project management. Like I can't even imagine what your this build out looks like. It kind of makes my head explode a little bit.
The good thing is I have a separate team that we've assembled just to focus on World Cup. So
Okay.
this week, well, I would say every week, our focus is fundraising and host city supporters and sponsorship. So each host city can have 10 host city supporters. So we work with FIFA on getting those approvals. Those are our sponsors to help pay the bills of putting on a World Cup. Then we've got a donor program that is a key for us as well, and that is a lot of the legacy pieces that we hope to be able to integrate into this World Cup. And it's really about what we're able to leave behind after 2026 is over. And sometimes that's sustainability, human rights. That could be um, getting many pitches or equipment or coaching education or referees or, you know, whatever, access to play sport in underserved areas throughout the region. So we're really focused on putting that plan together. We're going to have some announcements in December on our first mini pitches and have some donor announcement as well as some host city supporters. So that's our main focus right now. We've got probably 15 to 18 different working groups, from safety and security to transportation to volunteers. Actually, volunteer registration ends at the end of this week.
How many volunteers will you have?
We need 6,200 right now. I think we have over 30,000 that are registered just for our area. They've got to go through a tryout process, but so that's a big piece of our puzzle. Obviously, marketing, communications, sustainability, human rights team. We've got a ancillary event team, fan festival. C3 Presents, who puts on the NFL draft, as well as Austin City Limits is going to be putting on our fan festival. So building a lot of that out. The accommodations piece is something
Restaurant and hospitality.
yeah, restaurant and hospitality is a big piece. So a lot of various working groups, and they've been working for some of them over 2 years.
Are they on your
Yeah.
team, or is like your team head the group and then it's made up of maybe some private sector people too?
So this is, yeah, we have a small board for, it's called North Texas FIFA World Cup Organizing Committee. Um, so a separate entity from the Sports Commission. I serve as the president of that. We've got Dan Hunt and Nina Baca are our co-chairs, which are doing phenomenal work. And then underneath that, we've got a team that we've built out, and each of those team members kind of manage a working group or maybe multiple working group, depending on. And that's where we integrate people from across the region. Some of it is cities, some of it is other nonprofits, some of it are, you know, private citizens that are lending in or have expertise in a certain area, or hey, I used to do this in a previous event, or just want to be involved and lend a voice. Takes a lot of volunteers too, that maybe outside of the volunteer program to be able to put this on
So I read you have your little doggos,
too.
Tube. You like Matitos margaritas and spending time on Cedar Creek Lake.
I do.
Were you about to say you have a different margarita that you like inside of? I heard
Well,
Matitos and you were like,
Matitos, I'll do the queso at Matitos.
oh, okay.
Margarita, I I probably do the Mambo Taxi, but
Oh, yes.
yeah,
All right.
it's okay.
And then you go to Cedar Creek Lake.
Have a house out at Cedar Creek Lake. I got it in 2018. It's a way for me to just go out, get away for a little bit, and decompress.
So aside from those, and maybe in addition to those, how do you maintain a positive attitude with everything that you have going? Or you just naturally
Oh, there's some days. You have your days. I think everybody has their days, but I've got a great team on both sports commission side and World Cup side that pick me up and like how can we tackle the problems and not necessarily look at them as detrimental or problems, but opportunities. I've got great friends that we may have to go hash it out on a patio once a week or something of like, okay, Monica, what's going on today? And they let me kick and scream, maybe invent for a little bit, but they're also there for the big wins and the celebrations too. So, hey, you know that nothing's going to be perfect, right? And you're doing the best you can. And um, I don't know. I don't try to see it so much as negative. A lot of times, it's just kind of the scope of the business, and you know that events and things take turns, and you have to be able to bend and maneuver, but still know here's where our goal is over here. And it may not be a straight line or a straight street way. We may have to divert and take a detour to get, but we're still going to get over there where we need to be.
got to go. So I also read that and I'm going to read this because I want to make sure I get it right. I just read this and I loved it. Your ideal future is one where there would be a women's professional team playing a game on the same day, maybe not at the same time as a men's match, where there would be plenty of opportunity for young girls and boys to see both.
Oh, I would love for like even a men's Final Four, women's Final Four. We actually pitched this once. Um, I don't well, obviously the NCAA didn't adopt it, but um, where the men's and women's Final Four played in the same city. I think it would be amazing opportunity. I don't think there's a lot of cities that could do it, mainly for venues within capacity of stadiums and that sort of thing. But um, I love to. I'm loving what I'm seeing in the growth of women's sports. What we're seeing with the Wings, what we're seeing with Dallas Trinity FC. You've got a new pro volleyball team and league that is, starting up here in Dallas. We've got some others that are, I think, coming along as well. I think 2031 could be an amazing year for us here because while we are focused on this World Cup for 2026, we've got a bid in and working with U.S. Soccer on their bid for the FIFA Women's World Cup for 2031. We're already hosting an NCAA Women's Final Four in 2031. So I may be looking at a few other things to add in there, but more opportunity for women and on the sports side. Yeah, I'm very supportive of it.
I love it. When I was starting as an actor, I think we're similar in ages, but I heard a lot. They were like, well, women can't be the leads in movies because women don't go see movies and they're not the driving economic force behind it, And so now when I see those rules being thrown out the window and being totally false and the success of women's sports and God, you look at what Taylor Swift did last year. Give women something to buy and they will show up. But even men are now going to women's sports, which is I get chills, honestly.
I agree. And you're seeing corporations start to invest in women's sports. Like we even saw in 2023 at the Women's Final Four, they have a fan fest. In 2017, when we hosted, it was outdoor right by the American Airlines Center. 2023, no, we need to be in a convention center like the men do for theirs, but it wasn't as large a footprint. But what we saw was that the corporate partners of the NCAA were present, had booths there, had exhibits. You saw them investing in other stuff throughout the community and around the event. And since then, going to the 24 and 25 women's Final Four, you definitely saw that too. We visited the WNBA All-Star game in Indy earlier this year, and that had a different feel even about it than maybe what it did the previous year in Phoenix. So you're kind of seeing, and a lot of it is because of the corporate um, interest.
That's so cool. Um, I know you're very giving of your time and you talked about your servant mentality. What do you feel like you gain from that? Like, do you notice that? Like, is it a conscious decision or does it just make your heart happy or
Yeah, I mean, I think being a part of a community is important. Being present in it. There's probably a lot of other things that I would like to also be doing, or um, whether it's other boards or working with other associations through what we're doing from a sports commission standpoint. But I think it's in order to be, I feel like, successful from a sports commission, from a sports landscape here within the Metroplex. I feel like you have to also give and be a part of, give some of your time, and whether it's expertise, ideas, and that sort of thing, to others. And I don't think that's necessarily written on a piece of paper, but I think that's a part of being successful. And I'm not saying me individually being successful. I'm saying as an organization to be successful.
did you have good mentors early on?
I did. I think my parents, they definitely the work ethic and being able to put in the time and that sort of thing. But I had great mentors at my previous jobs, from Austin Junior Volleyball to when I worked with USA Volleyball, even USA Taekwondo. Had some great mentors there, people that I can still call, or and sometimes it would be even in my role now. I feel like I call them friends. Others may call them competitors that are in the same role that I have here in Dallas, but they're in other cities. Just to pick up the phone. Hey, how have you been in this situation? How have you handled it? And just get some, other advice.
Do you think that's a maturity thing, or is it like at what point do you realize, hey, there's enough in the pie for everybody? And to be able to call, like, I'll go into a room and the insurance people, I'll go talk to them sometimes, and they're technically my competitors, but we're sharing stories. And I was like, hey, what are you doing about this market? I mean, but I didn't
I
when I was young.
I do think I think it does take some maturity. Sometimes I'm like, when I looked up, I'm like, gosh, these were my bosses before, and
Mm.
but now I'm like, no, they were really teaching me, and they were my mentors, and something that I was aspiring to be. And even relying on mentors who are currently in my position, or competing. Yes, we do compete, and we acknowledge it, and we poke one another about it if one of us wins or beats somebody else out for an event, or that sort of thing. But what I feel like it also does is it raises the bar for everybody, so we're always kind of improving. And if we're able to improve what we're doing from a sports standpoint, or for our city and community, that's a win. And then they are too. And we're continuing to the tide to rise.
So awesome. Well, if people want to connect with the sports commission, get in that one last application for volunteer, anything else, what's the best way to?
Well, if from a World Cup standpoint, you've got to go to FIFA.com/volunteers and put your registration in there. But if there are others that are interested in some of our working groups, or even tickets, we get a lot of questions about tickets to World Cup. Reach out to info@dallasfwc26.com. On the Sports Commission side, we've got a lot of other volunteer opportunities and events that we host outside of just preparing for the World Cup. So you can reach out to us at any time at info@dallasports.org.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for being with us today. Please share this podcast with someone you know who likes to talk about business or networking or giving or leadership. What else did we talk about? Everything. Sports, FIFA, the whole gambit. Juan, do you want to say hi? We're at Icarus Studios. This is his studio. Ta-da! Juan. Thank you to Guy Reese for producing this podcast, and for Katie Towden and Shelby Furr for their constant support. And we'll see you again soon. Thanks.